I'm Quadra.
I'm Brandon Stewart.
And I'm Kolby and This week we'll be talking about college-related issues.
So, guys, what do y'all think about social networks? Did y'all see that girl that posted that post the other day? She was half naked.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
How do we, as college students, how are we impacted by social networks?
Because social network is also, it's a trend. Everything you see on social networks, people feed off of it. Like, I guess how like certain girls and boys feed off drama, you know, some girls and boys feed off social networking. Like, if something's trending, then they'll go pick up a pair of clothes or something that's trending on something. Or if they, a new lingo, then they'll start saying a new lingo. And it just, we're losing our personality and individuality from social networking.
Okay. Also, like, you know, there's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Studies say that the more time you spend on social networks, that your grades are lower.
True. Because I know when I had Twitter or Instagram, I had Twitter like 3 or 4 months ago. Now, instead of paying attention in class, I'd be on Twitter, Instagram, scrolling. The teacher would be talking, I'd be scrolling. And it would affect my studies, and I had to actually delete that so I could, you know, excel in the classroom. I mean, I had to delete it, but some people could, you know, use it. They could prioritize, you know, their time on social media and everything, but it does affect, you know, you in the classroom and everything else.
Do you think that social networks are a waste of time?
I wouldn't say they're a waste of time, but I feel like we have to learn how to manage our time. With our generation, we're so into the, oh, this is what's happening now, this is what's going on right now. We're not worried about what's going on in our class, what's probably going on in our family and friends, because we're so concerned about what's trending, what's tweeted, who's fighting, who's doing this, what's that. And it's taken away from a lot of other things that we could be doing.
So, do you think they should do something like about the censorship or like the, you know, proper etiquette of social networks? Because it's just getting out of hand these days what they're putting on social media, and like nobody's really doing anything about it.
Most definitely. I mean, I see a lot of people always being exposed on the internet, and I get tired of seeing that. Every time I look at my Instagram or my Twitter, it's someone being exposed, some girl, some guy, and it's just like, to a point, it's just like, I get tired of seeing it. I really don't care anymore. Is that what you want to do? Send it to your guys, send it to them. Don't put it on the internet. Like, there's kids on the internet too, you know, now. It's not just us. So everyone sees that.
Do you think that social media will change soon?
No, because our generation won't change soon. Until like we come together and realize what we're doing, then it won't change, because we're the people and we're the next generation that's going to take over. But if we don't change, then what is? Because our parents aren't going to, you know, do it because they're not on social media. The thing that kind of intrigues me, or I find interesting, is that people are, like on the weekends, instead of going out with your friends, people sit at home in their bed and they're on Twitter seeing what everybody else is doing instead of having fun face to face. Like, I really don't understand that, but that's what everybody seems to do now. Like, that's the trend thing. Like, oh, I'm not the only person that, you know, stays at home on the weekends. Like, the rest of the world is bored too. Well, not really. You could go out, you know, but you just choose not to.
Well, alright. Also, one last thing. Do y'all think y'all spend most of y'all time on social media? Well, I know you don't have a Twitter. You don't have an Instagram either.
But like I said before, when I had it,
Okay.
I was on it tough.
What about you, Coach?
I spend some time on it. I won't be on there as much. I'm really working on my time management skills right now. So as far as being on there,
Okay, well, you know, teachers think that they lower grades. Well, how do y'all think about standardized testing? Should we get rid of it?
should we get rid of standardized testing? I believe that the standardized test is okay, but yeah, I do think we should get rid of it. I see no point in us studying from 3rd grade to 12th grade or 11th grade. Nothing but tax. And then what do you do when you go to college? You're not studying tax. You're studying a whole bunch of other fields that don't even cover tax.
So you said they're not really giving us college ready.
I mean, they say the test is supposed to prepare you or train you to see if you're a college level ready, but as far as what we're going to be prepared for and what we have to do.
Because when I was in school, like tax, because I was in AP classes, so like whenever it was tax season, whenever we were starting to take the tax, we would spend like one day reviewing it, and then that would be it. Like, it really wasn't a big priority to us, because it was like, whenever we started taking the tax, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, we're a grade level behind taking a tax, but this is supposed to be what we've learned this year.
Well, with standardized testing on most tests, you're really studying for memorization, and you're not really thinking logically or critically. I mean, that's big, because in college you have to think that way. You have to eliminate answers and think outside the box and get the right answer, So standardized tests don't really allow you to do that. You can study for a test and memorize it, and then you can pass that test, and then 2 days later you can forget the information that was on the test. And I mean, how does that benefit you in college and in the work field? It doesn't help.
So you're saying it's really not beneficial to?
I feel like it's a two-way part. It could be beneficial, and I feel like the teachers should, teach us how to think logically from the jump, like from 3rd grade on, so we could think, how to think outside the box and think for ourselves.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, we do take this, like we start taking this test at 3rd grade level, and don't end taking this test till 11th grade, and it really doesn't put up a work to show for us, because when we get here, it's like, what does the tax have to do with what we did? So are they using the tax just to get money, or just to say, okay, all of our kids are at this level, but really they're not at any level, because the tax isn't equivalent to what college is all about.
Right, and not even equivalent if you think about like the other countries. The USA is one of the countries that is behind. I mean, compared to like China and all these other developing countries or developed countries, a lot of them have way better education than us, and they wonder why we're behind. Well, we spend so much emphasis on the tax test. Why don't we spend more emphasis on stuff that's going on right now? Be more, diverse to what's going on in the world.
So as a college student right now, you can say that nothing on the tax really have benefited you right now.
I mean, it's strictly my vocabulary. That's about it. Like I said, you said you were in AP classes, so was I. So I mean, most of my stuff was mainly ACT, SAT preparation, not tax tests, because they felt like we were, we already knew how to do it. We've been doing this since 3rd grade. It's the same criteria, same stuff, just a little bit added on to it.
So how do y'all feel about them taking the SAT score level down back to 1600?
It doesn't help anything. That's just, that not makes you stupid, but that just helps you. It doesn't help anything at all.
Yeah, I feel like it's making it easier for them to get in college, but I don't think that's still gonna motivate people to go to college, because the SAT test is a hard test. It's made to be hard purposely, because college is not easy for anybody. Well, for some people it might be, but I think them taking it down to 1600 was probably a bad idea, because first of all, you get 500 points for just putting your name on the test. Well, also one last thing about standardized testing. Do you think it's the teacher's fault, or do you think the blame is students?
What do you mean by teacher's fault? Like how they're
Well,
teaching us?
he said earlier that the teachers should teach us, but really, it's our responsibility to learn the knowledge and retain it.
Well, when you're younger, you kind of receive information, you just receive a lot, and as you get older, you kind of pick and choose what you want to take, and your brain's always going, So when you're younger, you have to train your brain to think a certain way. So when you get older, when you're old and you're like on crutch or something, you can just choose where to sit, or you don't have to think so much because your brain is trained. But when if you don't train, then you're kind of lost, and that's why I feel like teachers should teach us how to think logical and stuff like that, because it'll help you out in the long run in college and in the workforce, and math, it teaches you how to think critically to solve the problem. I feel like teachers, they teach, so they should teach us how to do that.
Well, moving on. Recently, Northwestern has unionized. Well, what do y'all think about that?
I'm glad you brought this up, because they always say that, pro versus amateur. But the only difference is in pro and amateur is the money. And when you look at it, the statistics are that college sports at the universities, they bring in more money than the college sports. Just March Madness alone brings in more money than the NBA. But the players aren't getting any money, back to their name off the revenue they bring in. It's just really a crooked system.
So do you think that college athletes should get paid?
See, it's about how you word it, because if you say...
Or should they receive benefits?
Exactly. Because if you say a college athlete should get paid to play, then they're going to go back to amateurs, and that's not really a warming sentence. But if you say they should receive benefits, then I'm like, okay, let's think about that. Because let's just give you a scenario. Let's say a kid lives in poverty, he gets a scholarship to Ohio State or a big university,
Okay.
and you would think that him going to the university would take him out of, living in poverty, but it really doesn't, because he doesn't get any benefits. Like if he goes to bed hungry, well, if he's on scholarship, shouldn't he get a meal whenever he wants because he's providing service for that school?
True.
And he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point. So, but this is the thing: if they have to give benefits to the basketball players, they also have to give benefits to the football players. So let's say, because everybody don't get. I know you play.
Right, I know what you're
everybody don't get in on the field.
Right, but
So
the people that do play, that shine, that you see, let's say, like you see the LeBrons, that play, but the people that actually put in work behind the scenes that help the people out in practice, they're still providing service, even though they're not, they don't have all the fans' attention, and they're not the big star. They're still providing service for that team in uniform.
okay, so you said all 50 to 60.
Because they have enough money to do it, they really do. So yes, they should. And I know a lot of sports like softball and golf and sports in college, they don't have a big impact on social media. They don't bring in a lot of attention like the big games do, like basketball and football. But I feel like if I'm providing service, for your program, then I should get some type of benefit, back to me. Because let's say if I'm, in a game and I get hurt, and then I graduate my senior year, and I try to go get a job, but my knee still bothered me when I got hurt in uniform, but I can't pay to get my knee fixed. Well, I got hurt in uniform, but you didn't give me no type of money to get my knee fixed. So really, I'm just a number to you, and then when I'm done, you just throw me off to the side. I think that's part of the criticism.
Well, they say that college sports fans are more loyal than NFL players, or even NBA fans, because they don't have lockouts or strikes or anything like that. So, if they do choose to pay them or give them benefits, it probably will be beneficiary to the athletes.
It would be like a stipend check, which is no formal work because they don't work for the job. You just give them, I don't know, I'm not going to say a number, but you can give them an amount of number for a semester or a year just to live off of. You know what I mean? So.
Well, we're going to stop right here, but we'll be back with more Cardinal Real Talk. More on pro versus amateur sports. So, you were saying that if they get benefits, they would get like a little stipend check or...
An education fund, something.
Okay. How do you feel about it, Kolby?
I think they should receive benefits. As far as what we've seen, with the UConn player, he said he goes to bed hungry every night because, his living situation. So I feel that if they receive some type of benefit, then it might help them with that resource, or, being able to eat at night or pay for this or pay for that, whatever funds that they need.
Well, a lot of people think, that they would spend their benefits or money on like miscellaneous things that don't help them. In fact, it's gonna hinder them. And how do you feel about that?
Maybe they should just make regulations on what they can and can't buy.
But it's their money.
I understand that.
How are you gonna make regulations
Not
on money?
regulation, but as far as, because I don't want them to feel like they babysitting them because, once again, it's college. I don't want them to have to watch everything. But you know what, you need to buy what you don't,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
sure.
So I'm not saying oh, you can't get this, you can't get that. But just be mindful of what you're using your money on.
Well, speaking of sports, Donald Sterling. That name ring a bell to y'all?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how do y'all feel about that? The comments he made, the fact that his whole team was black, that just really blew me. I mean, you only have 3 white players, but you don't want no black people at your game. Like,
I mean, he is 80 years old, so he grew up in that time where it was going around, so he just stuck in his ways.
yeah, nobody is telling you to change your ways, but you are not gonna be.
Don't publicize it, right?
Yeah, don't. Well, he didn't technically publicize it.
But his side chick, whatever she was, I feel like
Not side chick.
she did the right thing by going forth and doing that because, I mean,
Yeah.
he needs to. You can't put somebody like that as high in office as he was. I feel like she was the right thing.
I mean, he was really high. I mean, he's worth.
Right. But that wasn't his first incident. I mean, back in
Yeah,
2006, he
yeah.
got sued and everything like that. So it's about time that he got banned from doing it forever.
Yeah, most definitely. Racism is still going on. We knew that. We weren't blinded to the situation, but it's just a simple fact that he said, and I quote, in this little interview, I feed them, I clothe them, I give them money. That don't sound like a human being, that sounds like a pet
Mm-hmm.
or a slave.
Yeah.
And we don't need to go back there.
I mean, I feel like his comments, like they said, he's stuck in his ways, but then again, I mean, with you being such a high power, especially something that's highly watched, I would think that I would watch what I would say, or at least try to at least have some type of mind thought, change something. That was just low. He still really low.
Was that really? And his girlfriend was half black.
Well, she looked good, so.
Well, speaking of looking good, college students, how do y'all feel about all these STDs that be going around?
Oh my goodness. First of all, there's so many ways and contraceptions that people can use, and I feel like they just don't. They don't care, and they don't. It said on a website that I was searching, I believe it was called Elite.com, and it said that 54% of college students do not use protection during sex. And the most common 3 STDs that you will find on campus would be herpes, chlamydia, and HPV. And
It really goes back to, making bad decisions like the people on social media that tweet the nudity and all that stuff. I feel like our generation they don't know. They're not informed about what you can get off of what you do. I know the mindset is that when you go to college or when you're in high school, you're gonna turn up and you're gonna have fun and you're gonna be with all the girls or boys you can. And then when you turn in your later 20s,
All the girls and boys you get?
but they have to figure out that they're not invincible. You're not invincible to
and that goes back to they don't know. They don't think about it. They just want to have fun, and they're gonna have fun with as many people as they can get.
And they're gonna
Because it's a trend, like I said, it's a trend. So if I can get this many girls, then I'm the cool guy. If I can, and they just don't think about it in the long run, what they can get and how
You're the
they
cool
can
guy for getting the many girls. I thought it would be the other way around, but
They say that almost 1 in every 5 students on a college campus have genital herpes.
And they don't.
it takes about 3 to 4 years for your symptoms to show up. So you think you're fine, you're okay, I don't have anything, and then boom, a couple years later, oh, I got this. And you're like, what you been with? That was back in college though. So you can't blame your adolescent years because you wasn't responsible, and now that you're an adult, you're like, oh, that was a long time ago, I grew up from that. You should have grew up there and been wise about what you were doing, so you wouldn't even have to be in that predicament or situation.
I mean, with every action, there's a reaction, of course. And with STDs, I mean, it's just about being safe, being educated about it, of course. And I mean, the number one thing to do not to get an STD, you can practice abstinence. It exists.
Or get to know your partner. I mean, it's not that hard for y'all to go to the clinic and go get tested.
Most
It's not that hard.
definitely,
Just
yeah.
be honest with each other. I mean, yeah, it's going to be awkward and it's uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, y'all both be safe and you both know that there's no risk of y'all, do anything unless, y'all alcohol.
Most definitely get to know your partner because, I mean, these days, one-night stands are the trend. Yes.
Right? I remember, back in 5th grade and 6th grade and 7th grade when we had a sex education class, but we weren't really, I mean,
Y'all had a sex education class back early?
Yeah, you didn't have that?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yes, see, that's the problem right there. But I remember when we had those classes, I mean, some took it serious and the majority didn't. So, I mean, you guys feel like that if we had it now in college where people mindset were, I guess, more mature, I think they would take it more serious?
Yeah, because with the rates of pregnancies and STDs, I think they would take it more serious. But I also feel like they should provide like a clinic on campus that probably gives you like the vaccines and the pamphlets that shows you what you can get, how to prevent it,
I mean, we have the health fair.
Well, I mean, that's just the fair though. I mean, that's not going to be here 24/7. If you were to get the clinic or something, then you go, what am I going to do? If something was on campus, you know, it's kind of confidential. You can go there, you can talk about it, you know, get, you know, whatever, and just be aware. Just be aware.
So really it's about informing the students.
I think we need a clinic here altogether, not just for STDs, just for, I mean, people get sick, period. I mean, we have to get that vaccination before we can even stay in a dorm anyways, just because there is a lot of stuff that go on campus, and I just feel like, I mean, the clinic would do us justice.
I agree. Because it doesn't even just have to be STDs. It could be even things more crucial than that.
Like the flu or, you know, stomach viruses. I mean, which there's probably a lot of stomach viruses going on right now because, you know, summer is coming and everybody is eating. And yeah. Well, speaking of school, what do y'all think about us having a dress code?
Dress code? I guess what kind of dress code are you talking about? Like the khaki?
It would be regulations on what you wear.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I feel like a dress code's okay. I mean, as long as they
Well, stop right there, Kolby. You know, we're going to be right back with more Cardinal Real Talk. And we're back with more Cardinal Real Talk. Guys, what do y'all think about having a dress code?
Are you saying what we can wear or what we
I'm
cannot
saying, like, there would be a dress code, like, there would be regulations on what we could wear.
Oh yeah, then for sure, because I mean people walk around this campus half naked, so I feel for sure we should implement a dress code.
I mean, it's our lives. We wait all our lives.
But you don't have to be.
You don't have to be
It's a
naked.
thing about respect and being modest. I mean, even though you're grown, you're not technically grown. You know, like you still have adults and advisors around you that you need to be respectful and mindful and just yourself. I mean, like when it's the winter time, I don't want to see you in Spanx, sports bra, and snow boots. Like cover up. I don't want to see that. I'm pretty sure other people on the campus don't want to see that. And it's just like your whole outlook is just it's not cute.
Well, at this one school, they actually do have a dress code to where, like, if you're majoring in business, you have to dress up in business attire every day. How do you feel about that?
I feel like that gets you work ready, because I mean when you
Just
go,
want to look like.
right, and when you dress good, you feel good, you do good. So I agree with that.
I like that. So, like, I was watching this video on YouTube, and there was these boys from this high school, and, like, all of them, you know, they weren't sagging, and they're just like, we don't have to sag. We are the poets and scholars, and, you know, high school boys talking about this. But we still have people on our campus who sags to their knees and walks with a limp. Like, that is okay.
That is so 2001. Like, come on, get it together. Like, you know, something on a throwback jersey. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, grow up. Like, there should be a time where you should put all your stuff away. Like, put all the childish stuff away. Be a grown man. If you're gonna be a grown man, dress up, look the part. Don't no girl want no guy like that. And if they do, I'm pretty sure they don't have nothing to offer.
And do you think that Trinity Valley should enforce a dress code?
Yes.
What kind of dress code?
Like you said, you can still wear whatever you want. Just have some type of regulations. Like, you know, the sagging, shorts coming all the way
So
up
for
to
example,
here, like,
when the cheerleaders get out of practice and they go straight to the calf, would you not want that? Because they're in there.
Yeah, they're so you barely can see if they have a, you know.
I mean, but they're coming out of practice, so.
I understand that. I mean, they're still.
well, I mean, they can still, I mean, that's why they have, you know, bags and stuff. It's nothing hard to put some sweats on over your spanks. I mean, you can change right after practice. Bring a bag with you. It's not that hard.
Do you think that there will be an uproar if Trinity Valley enforces dress code?
Most definitely. I mean, there's always going to be those few people who are going to oppose it because they feel like, I paid to go here, I paid to do this, I paid to do that. But, I mean, it's what the school says goes. I mean,
If you don't want to be here, then...
I mean, really, you could just dress comfortable without dressing inappropriate, so.
Truthfully. So, like leggings, do you think that leggings and a shirt is appropriate or inappropriate?
It's appropriate.
I feel like it's appropriate to a certain extent.
What's a certain extent?
Because I feel like if you're going to wear leggings, wear a shirt that's big enough that's going to cover your bottom.
Okay.
Don't wear half crop top with some leggings and I don't know. I think that's raunchy looking.
Yeah. Because, there's a lot of girls on this campus that wear leggings. I was just asking, would leggings be...
Yeah, I mean, they're fine.
appropriate?
Yeah, they're appropriate. 'Cause I wear leggings. I love them. I would throw on some leggings. But, I mean,
Yeah.
be mindful of the type of shirt you're going to put with it or get a bigger size. I think that's what it is. I think.
So just cover the stomach or cover everything?
I mean, you don't have to necessarily cover your stomach. I feel like, I don't think people know what size they wear.
No, what size they wear?
I really honestly don't. Like, if you're a size 5, please wear a size 5. And if you is a larger size, please don't try to wear a size 2. Please.
Well, on to the next thing. Face-to-face classes versus online classes. So, recently, teachers are making everything do online, but we still have to come to your class and, I guess, listen to you tell us what to do online. So, what is the purpose of us paying for you in the classroom if you're not even teaching us nothing and the online class is teaching us something? Shouldn't we just have signed up for the online class?
I think, because I have one of my teachers who uses a lot of stuff through online, and I feel like she thinks that it's teaching us, she likes us to do it beforehand, then she lectures after it, to know that we did the work. But I feel like it should be the other way around. Lecture, then let me do the work. But, I mean, I guess that's the only way you know if someone's actually doing their work or their quizzes or whatever they're supposed to be doing.
Because face-to-face classes, I need just one-on-one time, but I need teacher-student time.
Hands-on.
Hands-on is the reason why I signed up to be, in a classroom. So, do you think in the near future, or not in the near future, but sooner or later, they're going to make everything be online? And I mean, coming to a college will just be the fun part, because you won't even have to attend.
They will, because it started off as friends just talking on social media, not face to face. So it will, transfer into the classroom where it's just technology and online. Like, I think it will transfer.
But also, that's not teaching us to be good businessmen or women if we can't even get face-to-face time with our professor to see,
Yeah, what's going on. They don't know you. I mean, I know some professors don't care who you are, but if you have an interaction with that professor, then that's how they put a name to a face. They know that this is what you want to do, that you come to class, or, they can refer you to people. They're not going to tell or know what kind of student you are by the work you put online. You could be getting all the answers from somebody else. You're like, oh, did you do your homework? Let me get it back to you.
Because, you can't text your boss and be like, all right, boss, I'm going to come in today. But, you can't do that. So these teachers putting everything online is really not teaching us anything. You're not learning nothing. The point of college is for you to learn something. And if I sign up to be in your classroom for you to teach me, that's what I want you to do. I don't want to be taught about the computer.
Right.
So, do y'all think they should take away online classes altogether?
I don't think they should take them away altogether, but I think they should limit or extend to the certain subjects if you're going to teach online. Don't try to make journalists and other nursing programs, don't put all this stuff online, because that's the type of stuff that needs to be hands-on, face-to-face.
Also Spanish and math,
Yeah, math, I feel like when if you write an essay, some people write better on note paper than they do on a document. Like, as far as artists and stuff, I know some rappers, they use pen and paper better than they do with on a computer. So I feel like we should stick with that. In math, you should definitely stick with pen and paper instead of on a computer. computer.
Because, I mean, you can't show your work on the computer. Well, you could, but that would be a lot.
It just makes it really difficult.
See, and what my issue is that I have a teacher. We do all our homework online in the class, and I don't show my work on the homework. But as soon as I get a quiz, she doesn't use multiple choice, so she wants you to show your work. It counts off if you don't show your work.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry I have to cut y'all off, but we'll be right back with more Cardinal Real Talk. Back to Cardinal Real Talk. So, advocates for workforce education. How do y'all feel about them, implementing that back into schools?
I think they should implement that back in the schools. I mean, what about you, Brandon?
I think they should too, because not everybody is made for college, and we need more people like plumbers and technicians and things and such.
So, one of my teachers, she was like, when she was growing up, they had different programs that you could do when you were in school to, whenever you come out of high school, you go straight to work. Because we need those people because, like Brandon said, everybody's in aid for college, but also, if they do want to go to college, they want to go for something simple like that can be taken care of in high school.
Yeah, because we still need, we need someone to work on cars, and we need beauticians, we need people who know about plumbing. Like you said, college is not for everyone. And I feel like they're wasting their time and their monies going to classes because they feel like they're not going to better themselves because they have to do that job. But there's nothing wrong with doing that job. That's why it is a job. Like I said, it's not, you're going to have a strength and a weakness. Maybe your strength's not school, but you can do way better in another field,
Yeah, most definitely. And also, in high school, you take all these classes, history, math, especially history, and you come to college and you have to take the same history and the same government. It's just kind of a waste of time if you only go into one, you're only striving for that one goal to be something that is not even, a doctor or a lawyer or, anything like that.
blue collar jobs.
So, like what you said?
I said like the blue collar versus white collar.
What's that? Well, that's the last of our topics today, but y'all have any comments about anything else?
Let us know how we did. If you have any questions about what's going on or anything that you wanted us to touch back on, don't mind going to Facebook or TVCC.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Also, this class has really helped us this semester, and I'm glad that I got to experience this, right now, because in the future, when I get ready to do something like this, I will be as nervous.
Yeah, be more prepared, I guess.
What about you, Greg?
It was a good experience, and I don't know what I want to do in life yet, but taking this class and I guess getting ready for it, if I did take this, major, it really helped out a lot.
Yeah, also thank Ms. Jones for all that she did.
Yeah.
Even though she said that she grew a few gray hairs this semester because of us.
Yes.
But, and my wonderful co-host, Kolby and Brandon.
Thank you.
But thank y'all for watching Cardinal Real Talk. It's been a blast. We'll see you next semester.